K-Rock on the Marmy Rock Show, and we always love doing these interviews on Shiprock. It's the best week of the year. Miss Marr's actually joining me on this one. I might even get her to say something she usually doesn't.
I don't have much of a voice, so we're not so sure.
You sound like Rod Stewart on the day off.
That is so cool. You're right. And we are with Tuck from The Biters, who we have already figured out has a really cool sense of humor, and we've loved listening to you just informally chat with your fans. So here we are. It's the first night of Shiprock, so just give me a quick reflection on Shiprock so far.
Well, I didn't know what I was getting into. And we had to, we drove here, we get on, we don't know what's going on. And then we realized within an hour that everybody is the nicest people ever and they love everything and it's super positive. And you think with kind of like a lot of the hardcore type of bands, the heavy bands and stuff, that people would be more standoffish. It's almost like a hippie vibe. Like they love everybody, isn't it? Don't you guys agree?
It's our fourth year here. It's the thing we tell people. We rebook immediately, and everybody's like, "Who's the lineup?" We're like, "We don't care. We just want to be hanging with all these people."
This is our family.
Well, I didn't know that going on, but like within an hour or two, just observing, I was like, I get it, and then playing, it's like people can kill her. So like, I understand why like it's going to be the best experience because people are like, "Oh, you're going to love it." Yeah, it's already been awesome.
And I think the thing, if I dare say this, you're going to find is as you guys tour around the country, these people are loyal. So whatever city you're in, people are going to be like, Shiprockers, we know you guys. And
that's what I've heard.
And then they bring their friends.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
How is this own little subculture?
Yes.
So here's what I want to know. You guys are like a little bit different style than a lot of other bands on the ship. So how did this all come together? Because I absolutely loved your set. We were front row center, man, loving every minute of it. So how did this happen?
Well, this is a multifaceted question, but we got on this because our booking agent books a lot of the bands on here, and we're sponsored by Monster. But we're like, there's a handful of bands kind of doing what we're doing around the world. We don't fit into any genre. We're kind of like lone wolves, so we play wherever we can or open for whatever we do. And it's cool. We're kind of trying to blaze our own trail. Now, you can't help what you like or whatever, but we're happy to play wherever or whatever, and our booking agent believes in us, and Monster believes in us, so they're like, we got to get them on Shiprock. So, yeah, that's how it happened.
Very cool.
So we were talking about, like, you guys are a little bit bigger on the other side of the pond, as they say. So what's the difference when you play a show over, either in the UK or overseas versus in the US right now? What's the difference for you guys?
Well, I think that over here, like hip hop and like girl oriented pop is big. And I'm not saying anything negative, but stuff like Justin Bieber and Adele and Kanye West and whatever, that dominates. Over in the UK, like it has such a lineage of rock and roll, especially the stuff that we're pulling influence from. People are just different. The culture's different. It's not as they're more reserved, but here it's like bling, materialism, consumerism. What Justin Bieber doing? What's Kim Kardashian doing? And it's kind of just like super extra big ass fries and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So like,
I know what you mean.
But people are people everywhere. People are human beings. So I'm not saying their brains are different. The culture's different, and they're just I don't know. We're appealing to them more right now because they still like a lot of rock and roll. And over here, rock and roll is really on the back burner.
Yep.
It's underground still. Yep. It's like going underground
back.
again.
Yeah, it went back. And a lot of kids aren't listening to rock and roll.
Yeah, and we're proud that there's a few people here cruising with us. We have a friend cruising with a 16-year-old. This is her 16th birthday party is this cruise. So, hey, so give us a little brief history for folks that don't know you guys quite yet, a history of the band, how long you've been around.
We've been around, okay. And what else? Sorry.
No, that's good. Go with that.
We started about 5 years ago. We've been through a couple member changes, but we did everything independent. We released a bunch of records, and we toured on our own, real punk rock style, because I was in a band on Hellcat Records, like Epitaph before, and we can blaze the trail, and then we started this band. I was like, we're just going to go up and down the East Coast and do it ourselves, and we started getting like a fan base, like old school style, we released everything, and then we finally got signed to a English death metal label, Earache Records. which is really strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they can love us and support us, so yeah, that's what happened.
So recap the last year for you guys. Like, what was the high point for 2015 for you boys?
It was like really melancholy because we toured a lot. We released a record, charted in the UK, charted in Germany, which is amazing. You know, we charted like 19 in the UK. And we did a headlining tour over there, which is great. But we, one of the tours we did with Scott Weiland, the one he died on.
Wow.
Like a month and a half ago. Very high point. He loved us, and I got to hang out with him and talk about David Bowie and Ian Astbury from The Cult and Mark Bolan, T-Rex. You know, he's into really like a lot of the same music that I'm into. And he was so down to earth and cool. And whether you hate or love Scott Weiland, I can tell you firsthand, I'm a nobody compared to him. He's had 21 radio hits, and he treated me with utmost respect. Not a rock star at all. And then him dying, it was just like a slap in the face. It was super weird. And then all these rock stars have been dying, Bowie and Lemmy. And
I don't know if you heard today, Glenn Fry from the Eagles
you
died
gotta understand,
today.
I was raised on the Eagles. My dad loved the Eagles. I was raised on 70s rock, and that's why I'm such a big buff on 70s rock. My parents, for some reason, they grew up on their parents' music. Mm-hmm. It's so weird. Like, I grew up on CCR and Tom Petty. You know, and I love that kind of stuff. And so to hear the stuff, it's kind of like, I look at it positive. Will it be a catalyst to bring the human element into music and rock and roll back? Because people like Glenn Fry wrote their own songs from experience. People like Bowie were a visionary. Labels wouldn't support somebody doing some weird shit now. They would only support somebody doing the run-of-the-mill, lowest common denominator, lyric topical. You know, because music's money, because nobody buys it. So we're in like a really weird transition phase, but I look at a positive of all these deaths. People are like, where have our icons gone? Where are our rock icons that are willing to like say, fuck you, I don't follow trends. I do what I want. Because there was so much variety in the previous generations of music, and now it's so monotonous when you turn on the radio. It's like going to, like, is it Burger King or McDonald's? Is it Coke or Pepsi? And you're like, what the fuck? Like, there's got to be some people that, like, think different and have different emotions. So, to me, I view Lemmy, Bowie, Glenn Fry, Scott Weiland, etc., as a catalyst for people to go, we are missing our fucking personalities, as opposed to these Justin Biebers and Kanye West. And the world definitely needs a Justin Bieber and a Kanye West, but we need our Lemmys and Bowies and Scott Weilands
right.
too. You know, there's got to be an equal to it. So.
We talked about 2015, so let's look forward. 2016, what do you guys got planned? Is it just going to be nonstop touring? Are we writing? What are we doing?
Okay, so one, I became really inspired. We released our record 6 months ago, but we've been touring so much, I just become inspired because I've been digging up all these crazy emotions from the past. Because, you know, every songwriter and frontman had a fucked up childhood or some weird shit.
That's so true, yeah.
And to me, I was raised in small town Georgia. Xenophobic, racist, homophobic, intolerant. Me, born a rebel, like, you know, funny, like, fuck you, like, I'm gonna be punk rock and you're thinking, whatever. So yeah, very inspired. I've been writing a lot, but we're touring a lot. So next month we are doing the Kerrang tour in the UK, which is Sum 41 and the guy from The Gallows, Frank Carter, hardcore band.
Okay,
that'd be great. We're doing a headline tour in Germany, going to Sweden, going to Finland, headlining because we do better over there.
Nice.
They love the old school rock and roll.
I can picture you guys in Sweden so easy.
Yeah, because I love like Helicopters, like Our Babies, you know, Hanoi Rocks.
Yep.
You know, they have a long, and Turbo Negro, they, like those Viking
you guys,
countries.
Like, if I didn't know better, like if I just walked in here and saw you guys playing, I would think you are from Sweden.
We get that. We get that a lot, man.
There's a lot of Swedes on the boat, by the way.
Good.
Other than Avatar.
Yeah.
Oh, they're from Sweden.
Oh, yeah.
They have a European vibe, isn't it so weird?
Oh, yeah.
And then we're going on tour with Buckcherry in May, which I'm super excited
nice.
for.
You guys will do well with this.
I've been like really wanting to get that tour.
You know what's weird? Like I almost thought, because we and Shiprock people forgive me because we do the Monsters of Rock cruise too. Mm-hmm. I almost felt like you guys had that 80s vibe to you. Do you get a lot of that? Do you play more with 80s style bands or more with the modern rock bands like are on this ship?
There's really, for the style we're doing, there's really nobody. So like, we tour whatever the we get to get from artists. And like, let's say like a band like Motley Crue, they're like, do you love Motley Crue? And I'm like, yes, I love Motley Crue. And what are you influenced by? I'm like, I'm really influenced by the bands that, you know, like Nikki Sixx was influenced by Cheap Trick, The Sweet, Thin Lizzy. So I'm really into a lot of like early 70s glam rock, which a lot of the 80s bands pulled from.
That comes through, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But it's all the same kind of thing.
Right.
You know? So I don't know why I'm in love with music that came out way before I was born. But like, I want to like modernize it and bring that. You know, my mom, when she was pregnant with me, was at an AC/DC concert, and she's like, Angus was on this guy's shoulders, and they were running through the crowd before they played, and I saw him, and I ran fast as I could, and I jumped on him. And he was so sweaty, and I was pregnant with you, and his sweat seeped in my pores and went into you.
Maybe that happened.
You
yeah,
know, like,
maybe that caused
to me,
it.
like you love who you love, you like what you like.
Hey, so before we wrap up here, so you've got a couple. It's kind of cool because you played the first night of Shiprock, and now I know you got another set, but you got a little bit of time to enjoy. So, are there bands you're going to go see? Is there somebody looking forward to seeing on the ship?
We've been in a lot of the same magazines overseas as We Are Harlot.
Oh yeah,
and they're bringing back the rock and roll, so I'm really looking forward to see them. And I just want to see anybody I can. And you guys say you're going to go see Nonpoint?
Oh yeah, we love Nonpoint.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've heard multiple people say that, so I'm going to go when we're done with this and see them.
Yeah. So, hey, are you like into sports and stuff? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna get off of the boat when we get to Mexico? Or are you gonna go do something fun, or just wander around? Like, are you a sportsman, or what do you do?
What do you mean a sports fan?
Well, I mean, I
on?
don't know. Are you gonna like jet ski or like water ski or any of that kind of stuff?
If it doesn't cost a lot, yeah. If they let me ride a jet, I love any kind of old school weird culture stuff. So going to look at the Mayan ruins is like really interesting to me. So I'm probably gonna end up doing that. Yeah.
Hey man, well listen, I've had a great time talking to you. You're a great interview.
Thank you.
And I'll tell you, man, in full disclosure, man, I knew of your band, I've heard your music and all, but sitting there front row tonight, you guys are a killer live band. So people need to go out and see you guys.
Thank you, man. Thank you guys. Appreciate that.
So hey man, Tuck from Biters, welcome to the MARR Rock Show, and anytime you guys want to be on the show, you're welcome, and thanks so much for making a great night at Shiprock for us.
Well, thank you guys.